felters, and welcome. In today's video I am going to be trying wet felting. I did make this wet felted needle felting mat a while ago. I will list it at the end if you're interested in making your own. It was very simple and very basic, but today we are going to be using this lovely Heidifeathers wet felting kit with some beautiful merino colours in it, and Heidifeathers are the sponsors of today's video. So Heidifeathers are a one-stop shop for all of your felting needs, and they are family run. They seem to be adding more and more things every time I look. They are well known for their needles, but they have so much more than that now, so it's really worth having a look round. We are going to be looking at the wet felting kits, so these are some of their kits here, and you can buy the complete kits or you can buy the wet felting items separately. And they also have a guide to felting and a guide to wool, really worth having a look at, and tutorials. The latest thing they've added are wires, which is lovely to have a huge range of wires for your armature and pipe cleaners, so you really do have everything you need at Heidifeathers. They use British suppliers wherever they can, and it helps keep the quality of their products high so you can buy with confidence. So here we are. This is the wet felting kit we're going to look at today. And I love it because it comes in the box. All their packaging is eco-friendly too, so it's something that I really feel strongly about, and I think it's great. So we open up this box, and inside here we have everything we need. This is the range of merino wools, and there is an awful lot. Even when I finish these projects I'm going to show you, I have over half of the wools left. Then we have the foam to help with the rolling up. This is the soap that we are going to use. This is the cloth for keeping everything neat and tidy. This is some plastic, which we will look at later. This is the linen that you put on the top to help you when you're wet felting. Bubble wrap, essential. And this is the bamboo mat, which we use to roll everything up in. Really good fun, actually. And the instructions. So the instruction booklet has, I think, 7 projects, and I ended up just doing 2 of them. But I always try to have a sit down. I'm not a wet felter. That's the one of the ones I was going to do. So I tried to have a good sit down and a good read through. And these are the colours of the wools. Looking at them, they really are beautiful and perfect for the things that we're going to do. So first off, I've got my towel down, and you take out your soap, and it says just to rub the soap in the water for about 10 seconds. It's a lovely, really soft soap because it's olive oil soap, I think. And it's really easy to rinse out of the items afterwards. So what I was going to do to start off is just make some some wet felted balls. And I'd had a little look online at how to do them. There are instructions in the booklet too. So I just took little pieces, started very small, rolled it up. You put a dab of the soapy water on. The water must be hand hot, or I did it fairly hot because it would just cool whilst it was sitting beside me. And then you take the next layer and you wrap it all the way around. It's almost like when you're felting a ball yourself anyway. And then you just keep adding a little bit of water each time. And then once you get to the end and you've wrapped it completely, you then dip it in the water, and then you can start the rolling. So give it a little dip. And you have to be quite gentle with it to begin with. So when you first start rolling, it's very, very gentle because it could all fall apart. And I am not an expert, but I still had fun and really enjoyed this. So if there's wet felters watching, I'm really sorry if I did things wrong. But you start your rolling very gently, and then you can speed it up, and you can really feel when it starts to felt together. And it took at least, I'd say 3, 4, 5 minutes. It didn't take as long as I thought. You rinse it out, and there we have one of them done. So I was really pleased with that. So I then did a blue one. I have a plan, don't worry. And you just exactly the same, wrap it up, start your rolling, and there it is, and it comes together. And then I did a red one. So they are not difficult to do at all, and there we are. So I just pop them on the radiator to dry. And so next off, I'm trying a flower, and I lay it all out. I only did sort of 1 layer, and it was probably a bit too thin, but this is the first time I've ever done this, so I was really pleased with how it came out anyway. So you then fold the linen over. You've got the bubble wrap underneath. I just added a little bit of extra soap so that everything in my hand would slide. So you wet it, but you don't soak it. It's not supposed to be drenched. And then you start the rubbing process, and you rub it round, and you can keep checking on it and looking underneath. And then you can turn it over. I'll show you how you sort of tell whether it's sort of matted together. So you really start to get in there and start rubbing it. So that there I've sort of turned it over, and you can give it a little pull, and that sort of starts to tell you if it resists and it stays together, then it's done. So again, it probably took about 5 or 6 minutes, not too long, and it was all done. It was very thin. I popped it on the radiator, and someone who shall remain nameless got hold of it. Obviously she wasn't happy with my work, so that died a death. So the next day I went back and I did it double layer, so I did it a lot thicker. So long as they cross over in the middle, that's where you get most of the matting. You have to have the wool crossing over, so you dampen it down. And this time I did it with just another bubble wrap on top, because I just found it a bit easier for myself. And then you start the rubbing process, and then you can pick it up, turn it over. It's amazing technically how quickly it does hold together. And then I did a bit of the bamboo mat because it's just fun. I don't think I really needed to with these ones because they're very, very thin. So you put the bamboo sheet over and then the foam, and then you wrap it up. There we go. And then you give it rolls, at least 50 rolls I think it is. And so I was very happy with that. Rinsed it out, put it somewhere away from the dogs, and then I just started on the lighter pink colour, exactly the same. And then I did the red one. This is a really lovely colour actually, really striking, and it looks lovely, all done. And I've seen tutorials on poppies doing them in this method, and that would be really stunning. What a beautiful poppy to make. So I really start kneading it round, and you can see it sort of wrinkle a bit. Now this one is the bowl, or the sort of vase. So you start it exactly the same as you would a flower. So lay it all out, then take your plastic, put it down, and fold over the plastic edges. So this plastic on the inside is going to keep the inside from felting together, so you will have an inside when you pull it out. So I just gave it a little rub, and then you pop another layer on. So this is going to be like the top side of the bowl, and I ran out of that colour, so I just put a bit of blue on the top, and I knew it might merge quite nicely, but as a beginner I was really pleased with how it turned out. And wet felters out there will know what fantastic things you can do with these colours. So you then wet felt that bit. Really simple, the whole theory of this. And then turn it over and fold the edges in again. So you literally have it all folded in, and then you just wet felt that all together. And I really did do quite a bit of kneading and felting here. And again, you can pull it and see there, it's not really that good. The other side was better. You can see it's holding better, but that section up there needed a bit more. I don't think it actually felted together brilliantly on that side, but it wasn't a problem. And then I gave it a roll. I think I could have made it thicker. So here it is. I've rinsed it out, and you can literally sort of pull it apart a bit because it's got the plastic. And then you cut a very small hole at the top, not too big, because the hole will expand slightly when you rub it again in a minute. So make a hole, get the plastic out, and the plastic's great because you can keep using it again and again if you want to do more. So put that to one side. And then, because you've got a sharp edge, give it a few rubs between the hands, and it helps sort of smooth the edge out to the opening. And also I sort of thought it felt it a bit more, and you can get your finger on the inside and you can feel where it hasn't quite felted, so it looks a little bit of a funny shape. You can do a bit of stretching here. I've seen some fantastic videos online making all sorts of shapes, so do have a look into it if you wanted to make some bowls and vases and things. But then I knew I was going to cheat with these. In a minute I'll show you how. So I packed this out with just some cardboard paper packaging, and it helped. I have seen someone put a balloon inside, which is really good, so it gives it a bit of a better shape. And look at the colours, the way that's the bottom and it goes all the way up to the top. So I was really pleased with the colours, and I still had all of these wools left just to show you, and I've got everything I need to carry on and do as much wet felting as I want, really, especially the bar of soap. It's excellent. It's all in my little box. So I popped it on a tray and popped them in the oven at a really, really low temperature. And this is what I'm going to do with the flowers. I'm going to pop the balls on the inside. So I popped it in the oven for about an hour at really low, like 100 degrees. And I did check on it regularly, and they dried out quite quickly because I'm a bit impatient, didn't want to wait. So to sew the little balls on, you just get, it's great if you've got thread the same colour, and you just thread through the ball so it's nice and secure, and then backwards and forwards, probably about 10 times. It's really, really simple. With the edges, I did just sort of tease the edges out a little bit with my fingers. Don't cut them. And then to wrinkle it up a bit, I wanted it a little bit more up the sides of the ball and facing forwards. I crimpled it a bit and then sew through it. I'll show you again on the blue one a little bit closer so you can see more what I'm doing. And there we have, there it is. I think it's really, really, really pretty. I think they're lovely. And then I had these brooch pins with, they have a round bit at the back, which is quite big, all-purpose glue on the back. Work out which way's right, which way's up, which way's down, and then I hold it on, and then you do have to hold it on for about 30 seconds to begin with, and then the glue is it's fine for you to just leave it. So I sewed through the other ones. I did cut a couple of, see that side bit there, I did trim it and it didn't look good when I trimmed, so don't trim, just tease it with your fingers if you want more sort of edge bits. And then there you can see I'm really folding it down and creasing it forwards around the ball, so that really helps. And there we go, they're all done, and I'm really pleased with them. I think, you know, for the amount of time they took, they're quite sweet and quite impressive, so definitely worth having a play around. I would love to do a poppy in the future. And this bowl, I loved the colours on it. It was beautiful. So I think I might work a bit more on some of the bowls, but I really enjoyed having a go. There we go, felters. How sweet is that? Obviously it's a bit big. I'd probably try and make it a bit smaller next time, but you could imagine wearing it on a coat, on a bag, in your hair. It would look really good. So there's lots of things you can do with this kit. I will list the kit in the description below, and Heidifeathers does have some other wet felting kits too, so thank you very much, Heidifeathers, for supporting my channel. If you are interested in making your own needle felting mat, click on the video up here and I will meet you over there. The next video I'm going to be doing is all about proportions and sizing and getting the right size legs to body and the right size heads, and how I work it all out and measure it. So if you want to see that video, do subscribe, and if you enjoyed this one, please do give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching everybody, and we'll see you soon.